I can say big loud things!
Hello out there to everyone who didn't click off immediately at the sound of my voice. So what do we got here? Returnal? More like return that shit to the store and get your money back. Nah, this is a good game. I've been trying it out the past couple days and it's very well done. It's basically a Metroid Prime 4 in a sense, except it's actually here. All you Nintendo soy boys out there are waiting for your Metroid Prime 4 when there's already a game out there that's just as good, and stylistically just as similar. Somebody out there's probably thinking that they're different. I know there's lots of people out there who try to fight that comparison. Just earlier today, some guy on Reddit was saying, well, personally, I don't see any similarities between this game and Metroid. Not a single one. And well, I've got news for you. If you can't see a single similarity, well then you're just retarded. Thank goodness only 2 people watch this show. Okay, so if you saw the message on that screen moments ago, we're looking for White Shadow from the movie Turbo. Remember in Turbo, that movie about the snails that could race really fast? There was a character named White Shadow, and his catchphrase was White Shadow, and yeah, he's the villain in this game, and we gotta find him. Okay, so here's the crash landing site. After crash landing in your snowspeeder, you have to return to the rebel base on blah blah blah. What was that thing they said in that Star Wars GameCube game? I don't think I really gave you enough information to... Let's just focus on the story. So the premise here, I guess I'll just spoil the whole thing here, is you're trapped in a time loop, as it were, and every time you die in the game, you just go right back to the start. That will happen several times in this Let's Play. Maybe if this lady had life alert from those commercials back in the day, maybe things would be different. Maybe an ambulance would come get her or something. As all astronauts should have life alert. I don't fucking know. So anyway, the controls in this are really good. This seemed like the type of game that would control very sluggishly and couldn't move around as easily, but it's actually the opposite of that. You get a dash later, and there's a sprint button, and all kinds of fancy stuff. So who's the stiff? It's me. Dun dun dun. 3 minutes in and they're already presenting the big twist to you. What a twist. So the character's gonna stand there and process this horrific image for a few more minutes. So, what's something funny I could say while we're waiting for the gameplay to start again? Let's talk about the development history of this game. So the idea of Returnal was originally pitched by a one-armed man with green skin named Rascally Pete, and it was based on an experience that he had as a young boy in school, where the kids bullied him so hard that he fell over dead, but then he woke up back in his bed and repeated that very same day like a Groundhog Day in a sense, and all the executives at Sony, when they heard this pitch, they stood up and applauded. You guys still with me? You know, Let's Plays of new games are always the types of videos that bring in new viewers, so some poor idiots out there is gonna be watching this, and this will be the first time that he ever sees any of my videos, and he's gonna think, Jesus Christ, what the hell's the matter with this guy? Yes, get used to it. Every episode's like this. It's just scattered chaos. I'm probably on the spectrum. So we got blue tentacle alligator things here. They're like xenomorphs, essentially, but different. So yeah, doesn't this look kind of Metroid-esque? How could that one chode on Reddit look at this and say, well, I don't see any similarities? Yeah, generally speaking, social media doesn't really seem to approve of this game as a whole. They've kind of picked it apart and found all these small flaws here and there, and honestly, that's just emboldened me to like this game even more. If the Redditors hate it, that must mean that there's something really good about it. Okay, so we got a communications log that'll tell us the lore and backstory of this game, but okay, there we go. Let's listen in.
Atropos. Elapsed time 30 minutes since last crash.
Hey, wouldn't it be funny on this audio log if you couldn't see what was happening and then the lady just screamed and then you suddenly heard, Grandma got run over by a reindeer, and you didn't know what was happening. That would be way more interesting than whatever this mystic babble is. I am on the space planet, and I don't know where to go, is essentially the gist of what was said. You get the idea.
Playing back now.
And they play it a second time, because I'm a doofus and I thought you had to pull up the menu to hear it. So yeah, here it is, once again. There he goes again. Look everyone, he posted it once again. Isn't he just the funniest guy around? Oh my god. I'm probably on the spectrum. So, what else to say about Returnal? So is this a first-party Sony game, by the way? I think it is, but I didn't really do a whole lot of research, to be honest. My knowledge of this game is basically just, hey, that looks good, and then I bought it. You gotta, if you want to enjoy life, you gotta turn your brain off. Just do what feels good. Don't stop to think about it. So the load times in this are pretty good. Practically non-existent, in a way. It's that fancy solid-state drive. They sang a whole song about it in Astro's Playroom. SSD. SSD. Suck dick. No, that's not funny. That's the type of joke that Ego Raptor would make. We gotta be better than that. So, I assume that statue was some upstanding citizen in this alien world back when there was still inhabitants. A Jebediah Springfield, as it were. Maybe they'll explain that later. The Jebediah Springfield of Returnal. You're supposed to use the dash to get through the lasers, but I was too stupid to figure that out, so there was just some wandering around for a bit. And since this was the way I'm doing this, it's a bit harder to cut things out. So we can't just cut out the mucking about. These rain effects look pretty good too, huh? Nice and subtle. Subtlety. Money revolves more than human hands. There's no justice for the poor man, only justice for the rich man. There are so much rules and regulations. There are so many judges judging the... Okay, I can stop now. Now that the game's actually picking up again, you don't have to put up with whatever the hell that was. Okay, I'm a bit lost right now. As the funny people on the internet say, instructions unclear, dick stuck in fan. That was so funny the first time I heard it, and then it definitely got less funny each time, and it got to the point where you'd just be filled with contempt every time you heard it. So, the gun reloads automatically, modern game design and all that, and they don't make you push a button to reload it like they used to 20 years ago. Oh, I remember back in the day when you had to reload manually in the video game. Those were tough days. I'm starting to wonder if I'm actually going to be able to get 4 episodes out of this. I'm pretty quickly running out of stuff to say, and this is only episode 1. Dear, oh dear. That's poisonous. We weren't supposed to pick that up. But some things you just gotta learn by doing yourself. Isn't that the saying? Some lessons can only be learned when you experience them in person. There was even swollen beasts do not fall into the same traps twice. Something like that. I don't think the word swollen was part of that quote, but close enough. So, what else to say about Returnal? Did you guys ever watch Shrek, like recently? Is the episode over? Let's see. Okay, yeah, episode's over.